بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Continuing with our program, and it's time for the morning message for today. And the morning message for today, Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah. We are so honored. We're having one of the ulama of our country and a face that is not strange to Hilaal TV. Let us welcome Moulana Sulaimaan Ravat, the deputy of UUCSA, and also Moulana is the program manager of Radio Islam International. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa Sulaimaan.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh Sameh, and to the viewers of Hilaal TV. A pleasure to be on your program.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Moulana Sulaimaan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, increase you from khair, and grant you success in all your endeavors. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Moulana, as a deputy of UUCSA in the beginning, I wanted to shed light on UUCSA. What is UUCSA? A lot of people, maybe they want to know all these shortcuts. What is UUCSA all about? What UUCSA is doing? If you can just put us in the picture, inshallah.
So UUCSA, mashallah, stands for the United Ulama Council of South Africa. It was formed just after democracy by senior ulama from the MJC, the Jamiatul Ulama, Transvaal as it was known then, Jamiatul Ulama Natal, and other founding members. It's an umbrella body. So the major ulama formations of the time felt that in the new South Africa post-apartheid, in the democratic dispensation, it was important on national issues for the Muslim community to speak with one voice.
Great.
Speak to government with one voice in terms of moon sighting, etc. And that's how it started. Obviously, it's grown since then. It's almost 30 years now that UUCSA is in existence. And it's got more members now. It has perhaps the largest representation of any Muslim organization in the country. It can't claim to represent everybody, but it represents more than any other entity that is known to us. And beyond just moon sighting and speaking to government, it's veering to various other areas in terms of national issues. The aspect of changes to the curriculum when it comes to gender issues. UUCSA has got a subcommittee that deals with that. It's got a subcommittee that deals with the Palestinian issue. It's got various subcommittees. And the subcommittee that I'm heading as the deputy SG, I've been tasked to head the political strategy subcommittee. Now, to give you the background to this subcommittee, after the last elections last year, we know the ANC dropped for the first time since democracy to below 50%. And now at the national level, we saw coalition politics. And there was a coming together of various role players under the auspices of UUCSA when we were at a meeting in Durban just after the elections last year in June. And we were having a discussion that, what impact did the Muslim vote have? Was the Muslim vote strategic? Was it kind of cohesive? Did we all have a plan and work towards that plan? And the answer was no. I mean, Muslims did vote, some didn't, and who voted in which direction? There was no kind of synergy or coordinated, constructed plan. And that coalition politics gave us as minorities now a real chance of being impactful and of securing not only our rights, but also pushing for the betterment and the improvement of the country. So it was felt that various individuals and various organizations had tried different initiatives and with some degree of success, but you needed an entity that had a national footprint to be able to bring various role players, ulama, professionals, business people all under one banner and say, let's have a nationally orchestrated and coordinated effort when it comes to positioning the Muslim community strategically from a socio-economic and a political perspective. And that is where UUCSA then in Cape Town last year in November formed the UUCSA Political Strategy Subcommittee. Subsequently, the committee had put together a plan, which was adopted in June of this year at the next meeting in Durban. And now that plan is in a rollout phase. So in essence, what is the plan? The plan is to take the Muslim community from a fragmented, reactive political participation to one that is structured, unified, and nationally coordinated. And this plan will focus on 4 areas. The first is political education and advocacy. In other words, empowering voters. They not just to vote, but to know what to vote for and who to vote for. The second is community mobilization. Being active politically is not only about elections. It's about mobilizing the community to be active in civic matters all the time. The third is research. We don't have research about Muslim voting patterns, about what are the issues in order to be able to develop our community's priorities. And the fourth is to build alliances. We live as a minority in a secular country. You've got to build alliances to advance social justice, religious tolerance, equitable development. So the plan was then presented to various role players and stakeholders over a couple of hours in Durban. The plan was adopted. Now, as part of the rollout, various things are going to happen. And one of those things, and that is why we're having the discussion, is a survey. So UUCSA has put out on its social media profiles a survey. And the purpose of the survey is for Muslims to tell us what the issues are and for Muslims to tell us what their thoughts are so that we can consolidate that. Because there's no point in this political strategy committee doing its work in isolation of what are the realities for the Muslim community on the ground.
Basically identifying what are the challenges and the problems first.
Correct. And to get an insight into what people's thoughts are in as far as the solutions, and then to consolidate that and make that part of the working document in order to be able to roll out those key areas of priorities, plans of action that we discussed early on.
And it's a challenge, Moulana, in today's time, to push the youth, especially to the politics, and to take part in the cases of the Ummah and the cases of our country. How are you going to deal with all of these things? Is there plans in your mind? May Allah help you in facing these challenges.
Yeah, apathy is a challenge, you're right. And therefore we had to clear some misconceptions. Firstly, this is not a political party. UUCSA is not forming a political party.
Yeah.
And secondly, UUCSA is not going to prescribe to you that vote for this one or don't vote for that one. What this is meant to do is not to get you to necessarily become a politician or to get you to stand for political office. What this is meant to do is to get you to become an active citizen and to mobilize our resources and our efforts and to synergize them, because we are small in number, in terms of the broader population statistics. Like even if we go at 5%, which is the more higher estimate of Muslims in South Africa, you're 5%. You're not 95%. So how do you punch above your weight? How do you make that ensure that your 5% counts for something in terms of what your priorities are, what you want from politicians, what you want from local government, provincial government, national government? We can't be talking in isolation, in our silos. We can't be talking in our own chambers. We need now a national coordinated voice. Everybody won't be part of it. That's not realistic. But as long as a significant majority is part of it, then it becomes viable and then it becomes workable. Now, one challenge everyone will tell you is when you put out a survey, people look at it and they're not really interested, right? I mean, at Radio Islam, we just put out a survey for how many months we're running it to try and get listener feedback. Because it's for the benefit of the listener. But people are just, apathetic. They just like to scroll. And that's why we're having this discussion, that go and look for the survey if you haven't seen it. You'll find it on the social media channels of UUCSA and its member organizations like MJC, Jamiyat, etc., Sunni Ulama Council, Sunni Jamiatul Ulama, Darul Ihsan, and go and fill in that survey. That's the minimum you can do. And then thereafter, whoever wants to help and volunteer and play a part, they can obviously make contact with the UUCSA offices, and we can see how best to fit them in according to their skill set, inshallah. So it's a challenge. Apathy is a challenge, but we've got to try. We can't give up.
True. Just to encourage people to scroll through the survey, what are the type of questions that are there in that survey, and how many questions are there?
It doesn't take too long. I think within 5 minutes you'll be able to fill it in. It's about the realities that you face on the ground: safety, security, health, education, economy, and how you feel those issues need to be dealt with and why they exist in the first place, and what should be our long-term thinking around those things.
Amazing. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you success in that, Moulana, and I'm sure through your leadership, this success will come, inshallah, to drive our youth and drive our people to fill the survey. You said it can be found, inshallah, on our websites of UUCSA and Jamiatul Ulama's.
UUCSA's website, Instagram,
Amazing, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Moulana, you can't be with us today without giving some short nasiha, even if it's in the same kind of what you're talking about today, but some short advice to the viewers of this program, inshallah.
Let me conclude with that.
Yeah, sure.
When the Quran tells us that kuntum khayra ummah, you are the best of nations. Why? Why are we the best of nations? Ukhrijat linnas. We have been taken out for humanity.
Indeed.
As Muslims, you can't just live, my job, my family, my desires, my wish list.
Indeed.
We have to do for the community. We have to do for the ummah. We have to do for humanity. And this is part of that. This is where you're doing for the community. This is where you're doing for the ummah. This is where you're doing for the country and for humanity. So it's a hallmark of an ummati to be community-centric and not to be self-centered and individualistic. And we need to activate that quality within us, which makes us worthy of the title of Khairul Ummah. May Allah grant us all tawfiq.
Ameen ya Rabb, Ameen ya Rabb. Jazakallah khairan, Moulana. Always very inspiring. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, increase you from khair, and continue to use you for the service of the Ummah. Allahumma ameen. Shukran for joining us this morning. Jazakallah khair al-jaza.
Barakallah.
Allah yataqabbal. Barakallah
Assalamu
fiik. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This was Moulana Sulaimaan Ravat, and Moulana, alhamdulillah, is doing amazing work in different directions, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, and all those who are active in the service of the Ummah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them strength to keep serving the Ummah. Allahumma ameen, ya Rabbil Alameen. All right, we're taking a short break. We'll come back after the break, inshallah, to continue with our program. Stay with us.